Hello all, we are back with some Sage in the indie games section. We are going to power through these. If I skip over a game in this video, it's because it either kept crashing or it simply did not start. So the first game on this list is Celestial Soul, and it's a pretty basic 2D platformer that has you playing as a fox who can double jump and roll to get through tight spaces, as well as use that roll to attack enemies. The pace of playing this game just kept getting interrupted because every time something felt like it was about to pick up, you just get another cutscene or some dialogue. So while playing this, I just avoided most of the enemies since my attacks weren't really effective, and some of the enemies will send you flying when you roll into them. So I didn't spend much time on this because it was very bare bones and it didn't even have controller support. So I know that this is a demo, but the combination of all the issues and the problems that I just had with the game shortened the time that I've actually spent on this. The next game on our list is Codstar, and it is a 2D platformer. Your objective in this game is to defeat all the enemies in the stage until the counter reaches 0. Once the enemy counter is at 0, an item will appear that you will need to pick it up. It will appear somewhere in the stage, and you'll get like an indicator telling you where it is. And once you pick it up, you just need to bring it back to the stage's entrance. While running through the stage and fighting the enemies, you will need to be quick because these enemies will actually respawn. So to fight them, you just punch them, similar to the 2D Rayman games, and you can even hold down the attack button to wind it up for an even bigger punch. There's a double jump in the game that you can do that I didn't even really notice was there because it felt so unresponsive most of the time, and I didn't even figure out that you had a double jump until I started mashing on the jump button out of frustration because there was like a platform that was towards the top of the stage that I couldn't get to. So while I was doing that, the double jump just came out and I was like, wait, wow, like I didn't even know you can do that. So I was able to get up there to the higher platforms to defeat the enemies. So this game itself is really basic. It's nothing special at all, but it does have controller support. Next is a returning entry called Cubenen Gardens, and this is a turn-based RPG game. I remember playing this game at a previous Sage and it was very enjoyable. I think the game is mostly the same as it was, when it came to Sage before. The story itself is still the same, although I can't remember much about it except like you're sneaking into an unauthorized area. I think that's like a part of a giant store. And there's some security guards that you can evade. And if they spot you, they will chase you. And if they catch you, it will begin a battle where the turn-based gameplay will begin. So I didn't even bother sneaking past the guards in this game when I was playing because the battle music is really good. So one thing that I noticed that is a big difference between this version and the previous version is that you can't level up in this game. So when the result screen pops up after you finish a battle, it will say that you're at the max level even though you're only at level 1. So that is a step backward in my opinion. I found myself not enjoying playing through this as much as I did before, but it doesn't matter much because I don't really play the RPG demos too much anyway. I'd rather wait till the game is complete before I really dive into it. So overall, this is a great game, but it just be prepared for a lot of dialogue because I just found myself mashing through it. Next is Danger Cliff 2 demo, and this is nice to see. I wasn't even aware that the first game had been completed, so we may have to go and do a full playthrough of that game. Anyway, Danger Cliff 2 was a fun experience. The gameplay is mostly the same, but adds a few new features to make it a proper sequel. So for starters, the game is visually much better with clearer sprites, a larger screen, and a more zoomed in camera. The gameplay is also much better, having a smoother frame rate as well as more responsive controls. The game itself is much faster and it's easy to get into. The first stage will teach you how to play if you're new to the game, and there will be tips in the background to teach you the moves without being intrusive. So players who are returning to the game or played the previous entry won't be interrupted with the info that they may already know. So all your abilities are back, from double jumping to drilling in 2 directions per jump, and there's an ability that allows you to lunge forward while in the air, and it can be stacked with the 2 drill jumps. So I'm not exactly sure if that was in the previous game, but that was really nice, you know, to be able to like just jump and then lunge yourself forward like that to advance in the stage. Really fun feature. So many good things to say about this game. Like I said, I had a really fun time playing it. It has controller support with responsive inputs for it. It's just an overall upgrade from the first game. Congrats to the dev, because the progress that they've made on this series is it's really showing. You know, I look forward to more. Next is Distancy, the Dreamy demo, and this is one of those games where you have to have patience. This is a 2D platformer where the objective is to simply make it to the end of the stage, except you die with 1 hit. There are these sad face boxes that are scattered throughout the stage, and if you touch them, you will die. So the game can be brutal because there aren't many checkpoints. The game can be tough, but it gets a bit easier when you get the pattern down after dying so many times, and eventually you will start encountering enemies, which will make the game a bit tougher. So this is one of those games that I played a bit longer than I normally would have. I think that my pride got the best of me, as I just wanted to keep trying again and again until I beat the stage. At some point I thought about, you know, how there's no point in trying to finish this game, as it is only a demo. You know what I'm saying? Do not take it personally. So it is a fun headache of a game with a nice gameplay art style. Next we have Enkoure, a 2D platformer with a somewhat puzzle-like level design. The level design itself is really good, and the tutorial teaches you everything you need to know. I like the way this game is set up, because if this is your first time playing, you will most likely not even know how to skip the tutorial stage. So you have quite the arsenal of abilities that you can use to help you proceed through these stages, and some of them consist of sliding, dashing, air dashing, and double jumping, just to name a few. So it may take you a while to get used to the moves, and some of them require more precise timing to get through, like some of those tight spaces. But I think that it was like a really decent game overall. It did have controller support as well, and I could feel it that, you know, the difficulty of this game will start increasing as you progress through it, because there was a part in the stage where it said, do you want to go the easy path or the normal path? And I chose the easy path, and even though I chose the easy path, there was like a pretty difficult part to get through. So I could just tell that this game will spike in difficulty as you move along. So overall though, I will say that this wasn't really the type of game for me, but I think it has good design overall, like saying that from an unbiased opinion. Like I said earlier, there's controller support, and yeah, go try this one out. So that's going to do it for me on this video. The link to Sage will be in the description below if you want to try these games out for yourself. Leave a like on this video to support me, subscribe to the channel if you're feeling generous. I will see you all soon with some more Sage.